I think going through residency, one of the interesting things that I had seen in lots of different patients was this imaging finding of iron accumulation that would happen in the brain and in either disorders where there was acquired injuries through hemorrhage or strokes, or through genetic disorders where you get iron accumulation that forms in specific parts of the brain. And so I became curious in sort of how that whole mechanism of iron accumulation occurred and what role they might be playing in different neurologic disorders. And so that kind of inspired me a little bit to start looking at that in the context of, and actually in the context of neonatal hypoxic ischemic brain injury, which is one of the more common conditions that we see and treat as neurologists. And so that was sort of the initial inspiration for the project. With the fundings from the grant, I'm hoping to do some experiments that start to identify the cell-specific mechanisms in the brain that mediate the dysregulation to iron after ischemic brain injury, and try to understand how manipulating those mechanisms can influence the injury severity. So the funds will be used to help do some of these initial experiments that will be looking for changes in cell-specific gene expression of iron-related proteins, and then also knocking those out or removing those, manipulating those genes in animal models of the disorder to try to see how it affects the injury severity. So that's where the funds will be used. I think ultimately with the research, what I'm hoping to identify is a class of therapeutics that would be helpful, that might be neuroprotective in this model. And I think the other big takeaway is that these pathways that regulate iron metabolism aren't just affected in hypoxic ischemic brain injury, but we can see it in lots of other different disorders, in neuroinflammatory disorders or in other genetic disorders. So I think there's broader application to how iron dysregulation in the brain might be influencing pathology in a lot of different disorders, and that's something that maybe this research will have some more broader applications outside of this specific injury context.